the physical component of yoga is only part of it. It's only one kind of branch on the tree of yoga. It's the pathway to our inner world. So I've been starting some of my classes this week with a quote from Marianne Williamson. And it's about our personal transformation and how that affects the global transformation in the world. Personal transformation can and does have global effects. As we go, so goes the world. For the world is us. The revolution that will save the world is ultimately a personal one. And we are on that path already as yogis. So beginning to focus on your breath here. Simply noticing to start. What's your breath feel like this morning? Is it easy? Do you need to slow it down a little bit, perhaps? Settle in there. Let the body relax. Feel your shoulder blades and your shoulders melt down towards the floor. That might open up the heart a little bit. And bring your awareness to the belly. Just feeling the breath there. So the abdomen, from the solar plexus to the tailbone, houses our three lower chakras, a root, the sacral and the solar plexus chakra, and they're all kind of associated with our stability, our ability to go with the flow, and the solar plexus is about our personal power. We need to be connected to all three of those things in order to know thyself. So as you're breathing in and out, feeling that space expanding, and then settling. Maybe there's a mantra that comes to you that's connected to one of those spaces. I am strong, I am powerful, I go with the flow, I am safe, whatever it is, breathing in. Saying the words silently to yourself and breathing out, repeating. A few more breaths there. When you're ready, we'll shift the awareness to the heart center. Awareness in that space as you breathe in and out. What words or sentiments or feelings or emotions come to you in that space? We have to connect to our heart to evolve. Is it a sentiment for yourself? Is it a sentiment for someone else or the world? Saying that silently as you feel your chest expand and the heart expand, and feel the chest ascend and softness in that space. A few more breaths there. And then we'll take the awareness to the center of the forehead. That's our brow chakra, the chakra of intuition. And when we talk about intuition, it's true intuition. It's true knowledge, not the stuff that we think egoically. So what do you need to know in order to come to that personal transformation? That revolution in your body, your mind, your life? What comes to mind when you simply settle into that space as you breathe? It's not about thinking something, it's about letting it come. Maybe it's something you know intuitively that you need to release, or it's something you need to bring in. A few more breaths there. And then we'll return the awareness to the belly and breathe up the body through all those spaces that we just touched on individually, through the belly, through the heart center, and then awareness to that space of intuition on the inhale, and then moving back down, noticing the heart, noticing the belly. Maybe 4 or 5 breaths like that, breathing up, feeling those spaces, and breathing down. When you're done, just let your breath return to normal. Begin to come back to your body, beginning to notice. One of the reasons that yoga is so transformative is because of this ability to allow us to be quiet. Sometimes it's just a quiet when we're moving and focusing on the body. Sometimes it's quiet when we're focus on the breath, and sometimes it's both. But it allows us to be present, which we are so often not. And then we know that once we're able to do that on our mats, hopefully we can take it with us. I recently posted something on our Facebook page that said something like, seriously, we would have world peace if everyone practiced yoga. And it's really, it's kind of tongue in cheek, but it's true, because you're so much more understanding of your connection to yourself and to others. When you're ready, you can start to bring some movement back, whatever that means for you. Any stretches or wiggles. So we've been working a little bit on twists, revolving the body. Twists are, really good for us physically, but they're also good for twisting out some of the toxins and nonsense that accumulate in our bodies and our brains. We've been doing a little bit of forward bending, which is for introspection, coming inward, and some inversions to give us a little different perspective. So I'll take a few more moments here to wake your body up in whatever way you need to. And then let's bring the feet to the floor, knees pointing up. We'll start some easy windshield wipe movements side to side here. And pause back at center. Take the knees into the chest. A little rock. And let's keep the right knee in and take the left leg long. If you want to stay super gentle, that leg's down on the floor. So right leg extended and soft on the floor. If you want to, so then the next level would be on the floor, but pointing those toes up towards the ceiling and spreading the toes wide. And then if you want to take it a little bit more, you can take that right leg up off the floor a little bit. And then the next level would be taking the head and shoulders up if you like. Couple more breaths. I'm going to take that right leg all the way up towards the ceiling. So you can hold on to the left leg with the left hand, and if you like, you can hold on to the right leg with the right hand. I'm going to pull that in a bit. Stretch out that leg. And again, if you'd like, you can bring head and shoulders up here. If not, stay down. And release, take it out, long stretch. And then we'll bring the knees back in when you're ready, give a little rock. And then we'll settle in on the other side, left knee in, right leg extended. If it works, repeating what you did on the other side. So leg is either soft on the floor, a little stronger on the floor, or lifted. Just a breath or two there, and then we'll take that leg straight up towards the ceiling. Again, repeat what you did on the side. So if you held on to each leg separately, you'll do that. We're going to bring that leg in to stretch it out a bit. And if you brought the head up and the shoulders, you'll come there. One more breath. And then we'll release it, take it out, big stretch here. And let's take both legs up towards the ceiling. So we're going to open and close the legs. So your inhales coming in and your exhales coming out. So you could use the hands to guide, or you could have the hands on the floor so you can focus more on the core and the legs, whatever works for you. Do a couple more and then hold open. So you can hold open with the arms down, you can hold open with the hands underneath the legs supporting, or you could hold and press on the inside of the legs to open up a bit more. So I'll be doing a little hip work today too, since that's another space where we kind of get stuck in it. It's where we hold a lot of stuff that might better serve us gone. And then bend and unbend the knees here. We can't change or evolve if we are continuously stuck in the past or stuck on particular emotions or thoughts or situations. A couple more. I'm going to pause with the knees bent and then bring the feet in towards each other for Upavista Vista, Baddha Konasana, upward facing. You can hold on to the legs somewhere or the feet. Let your belly soften. Let your hips release. Couple more breaths. And let that whole package come down to the floor. So supine, Baddha Konasana. You can always move the feet a little farther away if it's too much. And if you've got a really big curve in that lower back, just adjust so it's kind of a more natural curve. Sometimes when we come down, creates an excess there. Soften the belly. Let those legs release. Stop clenching the buttocks. That's the sense of holding, right? Clenching. I'm going to do a few more breaths there. And when you're ready, right foot is staying in, left leg extends, or coming into a supine tree pose. So that foot can be anywhere on the leg. So we're not going to press in too much here. So let it be soft to start. If it's really a strong stretch for your hips, then you could always put block or a blanket underneath that knee. That also helps us to sometimes have that sensation of release because there's something to settle into. And then just take a moment to lift your head and look up at your hips. So is your left hip way higher or are they about even? If your left hip is higher, bring your head back down and gently encourage that hip to come down a little bit. Maybe even have to take that right hip up a little bit. Encourage. A few more breaths. And then we'll extend that leg. Big stretch again. And then head into your supine tree on the other side. Soft, released. Take a moment to look up again to see what's going on with the hips. And release, take it out, big stretch again. Now we're going to take the right ankle and cross it over the left knee just above. So it's a little bigger stretch possibly in that right hip. Let that soften here. Encourage the left hip to stay down. That's going to isolate the hip opening a little bit more. Soften there. And then a couple options. You can stay right there and just let things release. Or you can start to take the left toes up towards the ceiling and spread those toes so your foot's flexed. So that engages the muscles in the legs a bit. You can stay there with a little stronger posture, or you can start to lift those legs up. Oh my goodness, they feel so heavy, don't they? And then take them down. And if it's too much, just stay where you are. And it can just be a little lift or it could be a big lift. We'll do a few more. And just notice if you're holding your breath. If you are, stop. Please. After you've done a few more breaths, I'm going to release, take it long again. And then we'll head to the other side when you're ready. Cross that ankle over. Start out soft for a little bit here. Notice if there's any difference between the two sides. Encourage that right hip to stay down so we can isolate that opening. And maybe create a little bit more space. So do a few more breaths there in that softer space, and then either staying if you did on the other side, or starting to engage the leg muscles by flexing the foot, taking the toes wide. And then if that's where you stayed, you're going to stay there. And if you started lifting and lowering, you're going to come there. And do a few more breaths. When you're done, take it out, big stretch, and then bring the feet to the floor so you can windshield wipe. So that's in yoga, well, in movement, in the planes of movement, twists are transverse movement, and it's also referred to as revolved. So this is just an easy, slow, gentle revolution of the spine. And then let's take those feet out a little bit farther on your mat. Just take a moment to notice where you feel the twisting in the spine here. And just by changing the position of our feet, we can change where the twist is. Let's do a few more here with the feet wide. And then when you're ready, pause, take the feet in closer than you normally do. So they could be, almost together. And then twist and see where you feel the movement in your spine. Do a couple more. And then take your feet back to where you normally do when you windshield wipe your knees. And notice where you feel it there. One more each side. And then let's just take a moment here to do anything your body seems to be needing. Maybe you need to pause in a twist. We've done some movement, in both directions, so you could absolutely come to a twist if that feels good, or maybe you need to settle into a stretch, or there's another posture that's calling your name. Just make sure if you're doing a twist that you get both sides in. And we'll do a few more breaths, finishing up what you need to. And then we'll head up to sit. When you get up to seated, just check in and see if there's something that needs to be stretched or moved. Maybe your shoulders are looking for a little bit of stretching, or your neck or your back. Few more breaths. Okay. So let's bring the arms out to a T, palms facing forward. Inhale, bring the hands together. Exhale, open. Inhale, arms come up. And exhale, open. Inhale, forward. Open. Inhale, up. Open. Keep moving. Coordinate your breath and your movement. Eyes can be open or closed, whatever allows you to focus more on the movement and the breath. Do a couple more rounds. When you're done with those couple of rounds, we'll release and take care of those shoulders, give them a roll. Enjoying the, I was gonna say, cacophony of noises, but maybe it's a symphony. Maybe you're one of the lucky ones and there's no noises at all there. All right, come on back to center. We're gonna open up at cactus arms or goddess arms. So inhale is here and exhale, we're gonna bring the elbows in towards each other and open as you inhale. So this can be easy, soft fluid movement. You can stop at the shoulders, or you can take it a little bit deeper. You're really kind of pressing in through those elbows. And when you come back, you take the elbows down and in towards each other. Up, around, out, and down. Or you just stay neutral. Do what you need to here. So we're going to do a couple more, and then I want you to see what you need to do, whether or not you want to hold in that forward position, or if you want to hold in the kind of more open position. Maybe you return to that mantra in the heart. And release, take care of the shoulders again, anything else that needs it. Excuse me, you're gonna bring those arms back up to cactus or goddess arms. Inhale at center and then twist to the right. And then back to center and to the other side. So basically what this does is kind of limit the twist a little bit. So notice where you feel the twist more here. What part of the spine, what part of the side body. Just a couple more on each side. And then we'll hold the right. Then center and left. And back to center. Release, take care of the shoulders again. Right. So we're going to come to a sort of a modification, I guess, of cat-cow. So you're going to take the arms back up into cactus. As you inhale, you're going to open. As you exhale, come forward, bring the elbows together and round the back. Inhale, come up, open. Exhale, together and round. And your arms might not come all the way together. It's okay. So we're going to do a couple more, and then we're going to pause in the forward position. So the rounded position, the arms close or together. And then come on back up. Let's head over to table pose. And we'll start off there with any movement or postures that you need. Let your body lead the way for a change. Maybe there's a downward facing dog or something else. Maybe those legs are tired of being crunched up and you need to stretch them out. Maybe the wrists need some attention or the shoulders. Few more breaths. And then we'll pause back at table pose from wherever you ended up. So I'm going to do a cross body movement with the legs so you can get a little bit of a revolution or a twist in here. So take your right leg up. And then as you exhale, bend the knee and bring it across to the opposite elbow or elbow-ish. And then it comes out and comes in and across again. So each time you breathe in and take it out, each time you breathe out, it comes across. A couple more, and then we're going to pause with that knee across. Now, just for fun, we're going to see if we can bring that knee a little farther away and cross your foot over so your knees are crossed now. Bring that foot across and over. Yeah, right around if you can get it there. There we go. All right, now we're going to do a little more fun. Okay, so we've got the right knee in front, right? So we're going to keep the right hand down, and we're going to try and lift that left hand up towards the ceiling. So it's a little crisscross twist. That arm can just come around the back if it's too much to be extended up. One more breath. And then we'll bring it back down. Uncross those knees. We're going to take the other leg up, so left leg's coming up, and then we'll bend that knee and cross the body to the right arm, And continue that movement. Do a couple more and then we'll pause in that cross body position. And then take that knee a little farther away so you can bring that foot around and cross left knee in front of right knee. Left hand stays down, right arm comes up, around. One more. And then bring it on down. Uncross here. Do what you need to. If you need to get off those knees for a little bit or take care of the wrists. Couple more breaths. And then we'll meet back at table pose. 2 options. This is a gentle class, but I'll offer you up the more moderate version if you want to do it. So it's going to be a twisty table. So I'm going to keep the arms in the position they're in, and then you're going to take that right hand and bring it underneath so it crosses over towards the opposite knee. Okay, so that would be the most gentle version, just taking it from here. If you want to, you could do the same thing in downward facing dog. So you could come up and take the hand towards the foot or towards the shin. So whatever you need to do. You choose where you need to be. Breathe when you get there. A couple more breaths. And when you're ready, release and then come to the other side. Couple more. And then we'll come back to center. Make our way into a standing forward bend now. What do you need to do here? Take a few more breaths. When you're ready, make our way up to standing. So I'm going to make sure that you have those feet about hips distance apart. I'm going to take the right foot back. Fall over as I do it. So back heels down to start. If you want to go a little more moderate, then step it back so you come up onto the heel. Totally up to you. Arms are coming up. Shoulders are relaxed. Face and jaw relaxed. If you want to add the little back bend, take those thumbs up and back. Open up the heart. And if you came into the back bend, back to neutral here. And we'll take the right hand down to the left thigh and twist out. Just notice if you brought the shoulders up with the ears. If you did, give them a little softness there. It's another place where we hold a lot of stuff. And then come on back to center. Exhale, hands come to the hips and step it forward. And step the opposite foot back. Adjust as you need to. Arms come up when you're ready. If you added the back bend on the other side, you should give it a shot on this side. And I just noticed that my shoulders were shoved up against my ears, so perhaps that happened to you as well. That's why they call it practice. Come on back to center. Left hand comes down to the right thigh, twisting out. And then come on back through. Hands come down, step it forward. Let's bring the hands to the heart. We're going to do a flow and end up with the right foot back for a lunge, but we're going to just walk around for wide-legged. And if you can't get there from there, just end up in wide-legged. Inhale up. Exhale. Let's go all the way down through the midline. Inhale. Exhale forward. Take your right foot back and walk it around. Adjust your feet if you need to. You can go wider or come closer together. We'll take a little time here to settle in and to notice so that you can do exactly what your body needs here. And do a few more breaths. And when you're ready, we're going to come to that kind of parallel position with the chest parallel to the floor, coming into a twist. So right hand's coming in center, block if you need it. Left arm up and around or up towards the ceiling. And come on back to center when you're ready and over to the other side. And come on back down. You're going to start to walk your hands back around towards the front of your mat. And we'll step it back to table or downward facing dog or some other position that might help you to release or stretch out.
Couple more breaths, and then when you're ready, we'll take it back to our standing forward bend. And then take that left leg back. Walk it around so you end up in your wide-legged forward bend. And this time we're going to turn the toes out a little bit and lunge side to side. So your inhale, center, and then exhale, bend one knee, lunge over in that direction, come up, and then lunge over to the other side. You can always have blocks underneath those hands if you are making it easily to the floor. Let's do a couple more on each side. And then the next time you're on the right, I'm going to pause there. The hands make it pretty easily to the floor. You're going to walk your hands over towards that right foot. Keep your left hand down, and then see if you can bring your right hand up onto the right thigh. So a little twisty lunge. A couple more breaths there. And you can just stay without the twist if that's what you need to do. And then we'll bring that hand down. We're going to walk it back through center, come over into your lunge on the other side. And we'll see what happens when we try it over here. Right hand stays down after you walk them over. Left hand comes up onto the left thigh. One more breath. And then we'll take it on back to center. Bring the hands to the hips, lift it all the way up. I'm going to stretch out that side body a little bit, right arm down, left arm up and over. So I'm going to root down into the outside edge of that left foot. And then come on up, over to the other side. And then see if you can root down into the outside edge of that right foot. And come on back up. And then make your way into a forward bend. A few breaths there, check in, see what you might need to do. And when you're ready, you're going to take it around towards the front of your mat and take it into whatever posture you might need here. Downward facing dog, child's pose, table with some movement or without. A few more breaths. And if you could make your way down and come to sit. And bring those feet out in front of you, sitting back a bit so we can windshield wipe. And then pause. I'm going to take the right ankle over the left knee. So I'm going to come back to windshield wiping here. So you take your
foot down towards the floor on the opposite side, and then come up and take the knee down. So it could be a little movement, could be a bigger movement. Hip opener with the added benefit of twist. And then we're going to pause and try and bring that foot to the floor. Move the hands if you need to, nice and long. And then come on back up. I'm going to release that foot, take the other one over, start the movement, taking the knee out and taking the foot across. A few more. And then we'll pause for the twist, foot comes towards the floor. Excuse me. And come on back up and cross. I'm going to lower down to the floor, all the way to your back. Take a big stretch out. Oh. So I want to get a banana asana in here to stretch out the side body a bit. So slide those legs over to the right. You can stay there, or you can slide the arms over to the right to create that banana shape. Most of your back is on the floor if you can keep it there. And then soften down. If you want to take it deeper, left ankle crosses over the right. Then you can hold on to your left wrist. Gently pull that longer. Soften into the stretch. Let it be. Couple more breaths. And when you're ready, you can unwind arms and legs if you had them crossed or if you're holding, and then take it back to center. Stretching between if you need it. And then start to slide the legs over to the other side. Seeing what unfolds here. Let your body release into the stretch. Couple more breaths. When you're ready, unwind, come on back to center. Big stretch out. We'll bring the hands down along the sides, feet come to the floor. So some options. I want to get another inversion in here. So that could be bridge pose, where you're lifting those hips up towards the ceiling. It could be lifting the legs up for candlestick. If you have a block, that can go underneath the back of your pelvis, and you can take the legs up. So whatever works for you. A supported bridge might be nice here. So the inversions are just meant to change our perspective a little bit. So you just decide where you need to be here. Settle into your body and your breath. Is there a change of perspective that you might need in your life, on your mat, in your brain? Feel free to stay longer if you like. Feel free to come down if you like. The rest of the practice is left to you to do exactly what you need to do. If you are in a candlestick, you might want to open that throat a little bit. Maybe you stay right where you are for Shavasana. Take time to do what you need to. Be exactly where you need to for your Shavasana. Maybe you return to one or more of those spaces that we focused on at the beginning of class in the body. Maybe you return to your mantra. Maybe you just move your awareness to each of those spaces, just as an option for connecting to those places of transformation within you. Maybe you're simply here on your mat in this moment, breathing, settling. Beginning to slowly make your way back to your body. Coming back to any movement you might need. Take your time. Eventually we'll make our way up to seated. When you arrive there, taking the top of your head up towards the ceiling, lengthening through the back of your neck. Let your shoulders settle. Ending this morning with a quote from Rumi. I have been a seeker, and I still am. But I stopped asking the books and the stars, and I started listening to the teachings of my soul. I have been a seeker, and I still am. But I stopped asking the books and the stars, and I started listening to the teachings of my soul. Yoga is one way that we can begin to hear that. Bringing the hands together, pressing the thumbs into the heart center, bowing forward to seal in our practice. Shanti, 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 peace. May there be peace in your hearts. May there be peace in your lives, and may there be peace in this world. Gently rising up. Namaste.
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 Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you, Ellen.
My pleasure as always.
Have a good weekend.
You too.